Hey everybody, my name's Ed. New school comic book reviews. I've been trying to get back into doing like reviews and stuff, and but I've just been running into different sort of things, either personal problems or when I've got time to like do comic book related stuff. I've been having computer issues and stuff like that. Hopefully, though, I'm going to try to get some more stuff out here. So let's see here how it goes. Stuff I got recently, I did get Supergirl #7 by Michael Green, Mike Johnson, and Mahmoud Ashrar. I pretty much like this story. It's pretty much the conclusion of the first arc, which is more or less the origin of Supergirl. In this issue, Supergirl is on Earth. She's fighting Rain and the other world killers, and that's basically all you get here. You get the big climax, confrontational, big battle issue, and that's basically what this is. For the most part, this series has been pretty much fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I really liked it. One thing, my biggest problem was just basically with the level of, I guess, decompression, For 7 issues, I kind of wish we got a little bit more story, maybe a little bit more of setting up Supergirl's, status quo, like, what's she gonna do, where's she gonna live, who are her supporting cast, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure they're probably going to do that probably in the next story arc. Within this one, we did get some answers as far as her origin story, where she's from. They did set up some interesting things as like the mystery of Argo City and what happened to her father. And I'm sure, that's going to be probably followed up, we did get introduced to some, some pretty interesting supervillains. There's the one guy whose name I can't remember, who came across as a cross between young Lex Luthor and Blight. We've got these other people, Rain, the World Killers. Hopefully these guys will all be like reoccurring supervillains, and she can build up her own individual, rogues gallery and stuff like that. And so that's it. I really do like Mahmoud's art, or I should say his pencils. The only time I didn't like it, I think my biggest problem with, when the comics were coming out individually, where there were certain issues, certain chapters where I thought the visuals kind of suffered just from, just shaky or weak or inconsistent. I'll say that, inconsistent inking or whatever. But for the most part, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So hopefully this team will stay on the comic, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next issue. Okay, next I have Glory, issue 24 by Joe Keatings and art by Ross Campbell. The whole thing that attracted me to this comic is seeing some preview art by the artist Ross Campbell, and I was really struck by the fact that the art looks completely the opposite of what you would expect this type of comic to be. Basically, Glory was created by Rob Liefeld, and she's pretty much his ripoff of Wonder Woman. And so you expect the character to look very glamorous, very supermodel-ish, but Ross has gone in the opposite direction and kind of come out with this sort of like, underground comics, alternative art, very kind of grungy, funky type of thing. Just not the sort of thing you would expect from like a slick superhero comic. And for the most part, I'm digging. I'm liking it. It's working for me. Basically in this issue, there's this young girl who kind of idolizes Glory, and she's been traveling all over, writing stories, writing papers about her, and she's trying to find her. In this issue, she finds her, and Glory's been all beat up and damaged from a big battle that happened on her home world. Glory and the young girl get together, she tells her a little bit more about her story and whatnot, and we eventually, obviously there's going to be some other big threat that's going to come up, and we also, though, get the idea that maybe the things that Glory thinks have happened or going to happen, maybe things aren't quite what they seem, And so, but like I said, story's well paced, and it's really, you take what could have been kind of a generic cliche type character, and like I said, the whole concept's been turned on its ear. And I'm very interested. I'm interested in seeing where it's going to go next. So I'm definitely going to pick up the next issue. And I also have Birds of Prey #7, Dwayne Swarzynski and Jesus Zayas. Yeah, I've been having lots of fun with this comic book. A lot of people don't talk about it, but you know, I dig the heck out of it. You know what I mean? Just a straightforward action suspense type of comic book. Basically, once again, we get the wrap up of the first story arc. Again, maybe this one went on, like maybe I'll say maybe one issue too long for what it is. Like I said, it's basically straightforward action adventure, fighting, and all that type of thing. We do get a confrontation with the big bad. There is kind of a resolution with, once again, a few kind of loose ends, you know, that could, you know, lead into other story arcs. And I like it. Now, from what I understand, Jesus is going to leave this title, and Travel Foreman's going to take over. And I'm going to miss Jesus's art. You know, Jesus is perfectly fitted for this comic. There's a bit of the old cheesecake, but it's not really overdone. He can really draw women well, and not only that, he can make them idealistic and glamorized and beautiful and attractive, but without making them look like porn stars, you know what I mean? And I think that's really important in, you know, in today's environment where there's all this sort of talk about, you know, over-sexualization of women, and is there too much sex, and is there too much violence, and so on and so forth. You know, in mainstream superhero comics, I think Jesus, you know, is a guy who's able to hit that right, you know, right balance, you know what I mean? So that's it. Other stuff that I got, I've got Fatale by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Haven't read that one yet. I got Avengers Symbol #1, and that was it's okay. I got some issues with a few things in there, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. And I also got Secret Avengers 23, but that's like a few weeks old already. And that's it. All right, I got to thank you very much for listening. Tell me what you think, and you guys all have a good day.